Coaches, are you ready to revolutionize your game preparation? For the past 5 seasons, coaches across the nation have been using the ultimate scout team game changer, the Coachpad. Imagine this: no more scrambling on weekends to prep scout cards, no more fumbling with paper and binders. Whether you're drawing your cards digitally with a computer program or sketching them by hand, the Coachpad is your all in one solution. Picture yourself on the practice field, effortlessly managing your scout team or standing on the sidelines during game day. Syncing adjustments from the press box to your coaches on the sideline and back. With the coach pad, you can clearly see your scout cards, even in the brightest sunlight. No more squinting or dealing with the wind blowing clear vinyl sleeves everywhere. This offseason, take your coaching to the next level. Get your coach pad today at thecoachpad.com and gear up for a winning season ahead.
Welcome back to another episode of the Gap Down Backer podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that crap. Comment on the videos. Helps people find them. YouTube algorithm crap. So make sure you do all that. Check out our sponsor, Coachpad, as usual. Today we have a friend of the channel, longtime high school head coach, Coach Todd Knipp. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you doing this morning, Nick?
Doing good, doing good. It was good chit-chatting with you for a little bit, and thank you for taking some time off your vacation. Um, this will come out a lot later than that, but Coach is starting to enjoy his summer and down south, and like I said, I got one more week of school left, so it's just,
We all can't be that lucky, can we?
no. I generally think we're one of like less than 10 schools that are still in session this week.
Gotcha. I was going to say we make in Southeast Ohio, everybody, so we're done by Memorial Day. So
We got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then staff day Thursday. So I gotta get all my stuff.
okay.
I still even started packing my room. That's, but also I'm trying to figure out like how much do I really need? I'm gonna be a
Right.
PE teacher next year. Do I need all this stuff? Like,
No, I understand. Us health PE guys, we pack light. So
and half my day in my classroom will be a weight room. So,
there
uh,
you go.
oh God, I'm looking so much forward to it. So, but yeah, like I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna get into kind of the after the season, but like this season, you kind of made the switch to the gun rocket, faster and flat, whatever you want to call it. Like, how did that? I mean, you're a longtime wing T guy, double wing guy. You've kind of been in both. Heck, part of your package is still some under center double wing stuff. But how did that transition and experience go for you switching to the faster than gun rocket, whatever you want to call it, stuff this year?
Okay. One of the things it did, it created a little bit of excitement amongst the kids. Obviously, they see shotgun, they see things that happen on TV on Saturday and Sunday. Um, One of the things we did, we had one of the reasons we moved to it was, well, we had a pretty athletic quarterback, and we wanted to really kind of get him going in the run game. So, but one of the things I noticed when we went to the gun rocket, we always use jet and everything, trying to distort, manipulate defenses. When we started running this out of the gun, we really started getting defenses to overreact to our sweep. And it really opened up a lot of different parts of our offense in order for us to be successful this season.
Good. Like I said, obviously I've watched some of your film and like I said, and then obviously you watch Blair's film and other people's and like it gives a lot of reactions and there's 18,000 ways to take it. Because he's really big on what he calls down, which is just long trap, rocket, and and some counters and some other stuff. Like I don't think he runs power as much as some of us other ones do. Like, kind of what what was your progression off of Rocket like for you?
Obviously Rocket, we ran Rocket. Our what we wanted to do was get people to react. Um, Blair's version of down or the long trap was probably it was the one that made our kids the most nervous because it felt like it hit a little slow. As the season progressed, we got better at it. But one of the things we really started using was power. Power we were able to get underneath, really wall things down, get the end, the outside backer to run out, and our kids started gaining confidence in that. A lot of times we start to signal, the kids will just wave. They say, "Hey, we got it, we got it. We're running power. Just tell us which side." So, obviously we'll get them on the front side and back side wise. Counter's been big for us. We would run, GT counter. We would pull the wing with it, with the guard, just different variations of it. We'd pull both those guys, lead the fullback, and have the quarterback run the counter back. So anything we could do to manipulate those guys, get them moving, and try to take advantage.
Okay, that's like I said, and that I think that's an interesting perspective of it is just kind of like the modify it and adjust it to each of their own. Like I mean, from I think one of the things that we talked about that I think was kind of interesting and is how much it opened up your pass game. Like I think that's the other fact of it is because again, the stereotype when you're in a wing T double wing, you're not going to throw a lot. You'll be 6 for 8 for 100 whatever yards, blah 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 blah. But like talking to you, I mean, it really opened up, and I mean, you didn't you say you're like it was like your best throwing year for
For a
like
long time. Yeah.
yeah.
We threw for like 1,200 yards this season in it. And like I said, we were able to really get out. I mean, our kid threw one game through for 300. Just the way the team was reacting to the sweep and getting people downhill. We were able to take advantage of a lot of things in the throw game. It made our quarterbacks reads easier. Obviously, he could see the secondary rotation, and we were able to get our kids open and get them the ball. Now, it wasn't like we had a super complicated pass offense with it. I mean, we just basically took what the defense gave us. We still threw quick hitch. If they wanted to really react, open the middle of the field up, we would hit a quick, we would hit a post over top, especially if that free safety started coming downhill. So, I mean, we were able to kind of slow people down, and, we were more of a reactionary pass offense compared to what the defense was trying to give us to stop us on the rocket and power and so forth.
Structurally, what did you see a lot of coverage wise as a result of this? Like, because I mean, every area is going to react differently, but I'm just curious, like, what structural?
We would see a lot of cover 4, cover 3. So, a lot of people would want to, we saw cover 4, we go in motion. They want to kick the safety down, basically rotating into 3. So three was the big, and seeing that anytime they had 4 high, I was excited because we actually had one less guy to block in the box. But cover 3 was the biggest one we'd see. So everybody wanted to make sure they had a wall flat player in the corner sitting outside and a free safety running the alley.
How much did I mean from week to week? Like, obviously, you get enough film, you know what their base defense is. How often do you not see a normal reaction? How I'll rephrase that. How often did you see them just completely overhaul their defense or make gigantic adjustments week to week because of what you were doing?
A lot of times we would see, I would call what I call radical adjustments. Like I said, we run a lot of unbalanced with it. So we would see a lot of full man slide stuff where they're sliding. I mean, they'd have an end out, and then all of a sudden, basically, we've turned odd fronts into even fronts and even fronts into odd fronts with people's adjustments. So normally we would try to keep it pretty simple starting off just to figure out how people were aligning to us. And once we were able to understand their alignment and kind of get a feel for how they were trying to stop us, then we would really go into the attack. It's kind of the beauty, even changing what I call our presentation of the offense this year, still the answers are the same that we've had for 20 years in running this offense.
Yeah. I mean, what are like for in terms of this offense? One of our main question I want to ask is like from a practice standpoint. I mean, you've obviously been a wing T or double wing guy for many years, especially while you were at Chesapeake. How much I mean, outside of rocket drill, because again, that's a little different than your typical under center rocket and how you're pitching it with the basketball pitch and all that jazz. How much other drill wise did you have to adjust or change your practice for what you were doing?
Obviously, not a whole lot. Obviously you had to work shotgun snap more, the timing of it, but everything else, we've still stayed pretty consistent. We did a lot of half line stuff. Obviously inside run we'd have to do to work trap and our, the backside trap, which, we called opposite and our counter game, but everything else remained pretty much consistent with what we've done over the years. The timing of the motion would take some time. Obviously, rocket drill, the rocket wheel drill, we hit it early and often. Um, just the way I had every kid, if a kid played wide receiver, he's learned to run it because you never know, when you last year coaching at a Division 5 high school, and you're two injuries away from having somebody else play wing for you. So once the kids all got that pattern down, we were able to move on and move forward.
How much like of his drill work did you steal too? Just out of curiosity, because I obviously did the feather field drill. I'm assuming you probably
Yes.
because I think that outside the rocket drill, that's the biggest drill of his that stands out. That's different. I mean, a lot of the other rocket related drills, like if you run under center rocket, it's the same stuff. But
Right. No, those were the two big that we stole. The feather field drill was actually huge, and it was really beneficial for our kids this season. That way they, especially with us running down, with us running power, our kids got really good at being able to step down on that. Or if he ran out, they'd flip those hips, turn him out, and be able to block it. So we were able to get a lot of good mileage out of it, just from that drill. Over the years, every one of our drills we've tried to tie into our offense. That way our kids are playing football as much as possible, not doing what I would call artificial drill work. There's a lot of good drills out there. We don't have time for all of them. We've got to kind of condense it and teach our kids to run our offense. So a lot of his drill stuff we were able to kind of carry over and use, just like I've picked up drills over the course of a 28-year career to help our team get better.
okay. Now with that, now also with that, with you, hopefully by the time this comes out, I'll have where you'll be next year. I'll phrase it that way. But you've also started doing the quarterback development and consultation stuff. Let's start with like the quarterback receiver development because I know you started that. I know you had really good turnout the other weekend. And there's not much I would say there's not much quarterback development people down in southeastern Ohio, that part of West Virginia or Kentucky, and I think that's a accessible thing that might help some kids. So do you want to kind of talk about what you're doing there?
Yeah, I got this spring, I got hooked back up with some guys that I've done quarterback camps with over the years. I worked with NFA for about 20 years and traveled across the country doing a lot of quarterback development stuff. Well, this spring I got hooked up with QB Vision, a guy named Max Staver and Bob Staver out of Nashville. And we're kind of they wanted to expand into like the Southeast Ohio, West Virginia, and Northern Kentucky area. So we've been able to kind of kickstart it. I've been going about 2 to 3 months now, doing some private instruction on the weekends and trying to, help kids get better. In this game, we got into this game to help kids and to help kids develop. And, it's real exciting. It's kind of given me an opportunity to just get back and enjoy coaching, enjoy working with kids, seeing development, whether they're in 6th grade or going into 12th grade, we can help them a little bit and work through. So, we're excited. We got a camp coming up this summer. So hopefully, we can get a good turnout and kind of continue to grow this in our area and help kids get better at the quarterback position.
Now, also with that, you've also started. I started, and I know you've reached out to people. People reach out to you, and I pick your brain all the dang time. But you have, God, what, 25, 30 plus years of wing tee, double wing, gun rocket, or I'm probably missing something. Gun tee, various other, pretty much every tee version that isn't power tee.
And
Version.
I've dabbled with it too. I have played with it as well.
There you go. So, but yeah, I know you've started helping schools and work out, and I know schools can kind of reach out to you. But do you want to kind of talk about what you're doing from a consultation perspective too? Because again, I think, like I said, you're a great resource for me. I'll phrase it that way. But just in general, what are you offering? Or how are you helping people in terms of with the consultation side as well?
This off season, I've really started kind of looking into trying to start doing some consultation to help schools to, help coaches develop. I know as a young coach, starting off, there was a lot of guys who helped me along the way, and I said, and the bad thing for me was it took me a while to realize that guys were that willing to offer help and be available to you. I mean, I know in the last 20 years, the number of people that I've reached out to and the amount of response I've got from people has been great. And so I'm just trying to find a way, maybe, pay it forward to keep me involved. Right now I'm not a head coach and, looking to stay tied in with the game. And this gives me an opportunity to get out there, help coaches, help kids, and, keep some variation of the tea alive, wing tea, like you said. I've kind of dabbled in all of it. Feel like, kind of amassed a great deal amount of knowledge over the years in it and feel like, I can help people out any way possible with it.
Okay. Now I do want I like going back to some of the offensive stuff. Um and I've seen your stuff, but for people like what is your so no matter what offense you're running, the wing tee, the double wing, the gun rock, gun tee, whatever it is, what is your kind of progression throughout the week of prepping, like for an opponent? What does that kind of look like? Just
The first thing I'm going to do is, with the exception of the double wing, obviously, is we're going to find a way to run jet or rocket. We're going to get on the edge. We're going to force you to manipulate that. And once we force you to overcommit to stopping at play, and then basically we're going to take your adjustment, use it against you, and try to put as many people in. I call them dual conflict people. We give those guys dual responsibilities. We want to make them wrong every time. So we're going to start attacking those guys. I learned a long time ago, with this, we don't want to try to trick coaches. Coaches know how to make adjustments. We all can adjust to everything. The trick is can we fool the 15-year-old kid who needs to make that adjustment? We want to make his life miserable. That's like, this year with the gun rocket, just the ability to use the false pulls with the guards all week. Coach tells him, read the guard, read the guard. We pull the guard the wrong way. He follows him for 2 steps. And then, we've just taken a 16-year-old kid's psyche and he told me to follow him and I went the wrong way. So, those are the kinds of things that we want to do with this offense to attack. And like I said, if we start getting secondary involvement, then we're going to try to attack you through the air with it to stop our run.
Okay. And then my last question for you is we've had a lot of conversations about snag, wide corner, whatever the hell people want to call it lately.
Right.
Did the rocket stuff help open up that for people with parents? Because again, you see the rocket motion, like, oh, okay, there's some past things to do, but it also can be like, okay, obviously one has to be a bubble. So you're going through the various concepts that would work with. How did that open up? Because I know snag's a big play for you. I think anybody that's ever coached against you kind of knows that you'll just run especially inside the 10. How snag kind of evolved for you, and how does that work with the gun rocket stuff?
Well, obviously one of the things it does, especially inside the 10, we start getting corner involvement because they want to sit there because they're going to, if they step up, we've got the ability to hit the corner over top. If not, we're still reading it corner to snag to the swing or bubble, however you want to phrase it. We're just trying to get a horizontal stretch on the defense. And we teach those kids, we rep, teach those kids to find holes and find availability for it. With the rocket again, we get that guy running out that you get a pretty crafty split in, figures out kind of where to sit in, find that hole, how to work away from a backer. It's tough. It's a tough play to cover. I mean, I see it on Sundays. I see it on Saturdays. And like I said, I've run it for 20 years as a head football coach. So, we've had it with a great deal of success. People know it's coming. There's nothing more frustrating than knowing something's coming and them still be able to execute it at a high clip.
Okay. Now, coaches, make sure you give Coach a follow on the Twitter, the X, whatever it's called this week. as I always post it. Coach's contact information will be in the bio, his email and stuff. So if you want anything about quarterback development in terms of getting your kids down there, if you live in Southeastern Ohio, West Virginia, or Northern Kentucky slash a reasonable drive from Tennessee, and then if you want any consultation work nationally, I'm assuming Coach is open to nationally, either Zoom, phone call. Coach always likes free vacations, so if you want to pay for a plane ticket as well, Coach will gladly fly out to wherever. If you do get flown out, Coach, I do request 10%.
I got you. I got you.
But yeah, if you want anything, any questions for him, again, Coach has got clinics on our channel that you can check out. But I mean, Coach is a longtime revered wing T and wing coach in our state and done a great job. From there, like, share, subscribe, all that crap. Otherwise, that's another episode of the Gap Down Backer podcast.